What's happening, y'all? Happy Monday here at Wake Up Barstool. Dave Portnoy, Brandon Walker, Meekville, and Liam Blumman in studio. Today we got to recap the Patriots' massive win on Sunday Night Football last night, as well as all of the rest of the NFL action. Brandon Walker once again bring you his top 10. And we have UCLA's #1 public supporter of the entire world to talk about the most massive upset we've maybe ever seen in college football. We got Greg Olsen joining the show, and we'll check in with the mental health of Penn State fans. It's all coming up on Wake Up Barstool right here on FS1. What up, y'all? Welcome in. Hope everybody's having a great day. Let's have a great day. Maybe nobody's having a better day than our guy Dave Portnoy as the Patriots go into Buffalo and
roll the highlights. Just roll them.
Just
roll the Drake Maye highlights. We have the clip package. Roll them. Let's react to it. It's been a little bit. Let's roll these plays. Here's Drake Maye. And I don't even know what plays we have. He lost one and he had a perfect pass. They went nuts on that. That was probably his 40th best play of the game here. He's throwing dimes all over the field. That's an average play. This play down the sidelines, they're going to be talking about this on his Hall of Fame tape. That could be his arrival throw. The back angle of it. Scrambling here down the middle, another perfect pass into triple coverage, basically. Wait till we get to this play right here. This is the game. Nobody makes that play. When you replay that and they show him with the stiff arm to his right, knee an inch off the ground, getting the first down, then drops it in, getting him in field goal range. I got to tell you guys, I have been blessed. I'm one of the more blessed sports fans who ever have lived. We've already made, like, the Infinity Stone, that Marvel comic, when you collect every single Infinity Stone. I got them all. I got 6 Super Bowl rings. I got a Michigan National Championship. The Red Sox 4. The Celtics have won. Even the Bruins. Whatever I root for, championships follow. It's been a little bit down in the NFL, but I've been one of those NFL fans that I'm not greedy. I've said on the record, listen, if the Patriots never win another playoff game the rest of my life, fine. I had the greatest run in the history of professional sports with this team, with the Brady Belichick, with the era, just penciling us in AFC Championship, Super Bowl every single year, 6 Super Bowl rings. I was at the 28-3 game in person. I was at the Malcolm Butler game in person. Snowball. People say, hey, Dave, what's your greatest sporting event? There's too many. I don't know. I can't count. I've seen them all. I've been blessed. And to see what I saw last night.
I hate this.
To see what I saw last night is the rebirth of, honestly, a dynasty. You need the quarterback. You always need the quarterback in this league. We all know that. If you have the quarterback, you can play with anybody. You need the coach. We have Rabel, a Patriot coming home. And what I saw last night, I had the hair was on my arms. The plays this kid was making started a little slow, both teams sloppy, but when plays had to be made, and not just average, but spectacular Hall of Fame, I've seen it before, type plays. And I've seen quarterback play before. And they go into Buffalo, who's the Super Bowl favorite, into their house, a house of horrors since the dynasty ended, to be honest. And I said before the game, this isn't post-talk, this is pre-talk. I said before the game, this is the first time in a long time where I'm like, you know what? I think we can go in and not only give this team a game, I think we can beat them. Now, reverse it. During the dynasty years, the Bills fans thought, I don't know how many times. They're like, we're ready to finally compete with the Patriots. And we squashed them like a bug every time. This was the game the Bills had to say, no. We're still the Bills. This is still our division. They couldn't do it. Our guy Drake Maye outplayed their guy Josh Allen, great player. He outplayed him. We outplayed him. This Patriots team should be 4-1 if they didn't fumble a game away against Pittsburgh. But if you're the Bills, you have to be worried. You've had control of this division and been one of the top teams in the AFC for how long now? You have nothing to show for it, and you've allowed, it's almost like the Terminator, you know? You guys Terminator fans, when you're a puddle, when the Terminator gets killed and he turns into like the little ice puddle, and then slowly it rebuilds. Well, we've rebuilt the beast. The dynasty is rebuilt with this quarterback. Stephon Diggs looked like he was 24 years old. He's running around the field 150 yards receiving. I didn't love the Diggs signing. We haven't had a number one. They couldn't stop the guy. They knew where we were going to the ball. They still couldn't stop him. I'm not saying we're winning the Super Bowl this year. I'm not saying that. We could. I'm not saying we do. But, oh, my God. The Patriots are back. They are a team now. Keep looking at your phone, Brandon, Miami, Dolphin, Walker. This is a team. You want to talk about the Dolphins. You want to talk about the Jets. You want to talk about any of these teams in the division. 2 years ago, they're like, oh, we're in a position. No, you still have the same ownership group. You have this coach who is built on our winning tradition, and now we have the guy. This team, it's the first time, can you tell my voice? It's exciting to be a Patriots fan. The future is burning bright. And unlike a lot of these other teams, when you let us get to the top, we take it. So for somebody who has been as blessed as I have to revamp and rebuild this quickly, to be like, oh my God, the Patriots are back. I haven't had a Monday like this. Jerry Thornton, Old Balls Thornton, our Patriot writer. I'm refreshing. I can't wait for knee-jerk reactions. I walked in to get a coffee at the local coffee shop before the show. How about them Pats? The guy yelled at me. We haven't had that in a long time. It was a glorious, glorious night of football for the New England Patriots, and starting to feel like old times around here again.
T-Bob, I am the least blessed sports fan that you have ever met in your entire life.
That is
my teams all stink. They stink my whole life. They stink forever. And then the one time I get the opportunity to get on the national stage is because of this guy right here. Dave Portnoy gave it to me. And I started in his company, and the one thing, he's the biggest sports jerk in the entire world. Yeah. All his teams win, and then he got the Michigan thing, and he wins. And I make a nice living. I do good things. But I have to live with this dude getting excited, and this dude gets all his teams to win. At least I had the fact that in the NFL, I didn't really have to deal with Patriots, Dave. A lot of that was before me. Yeah. A lot of that was before I got here. I dealt with Michigan Dave, who is a real prick. I've dealt with Red Sox Dave. I've dealt with all those guys. I've never had to deal with Patriots Dave, really. And now here we go. We went 6 minutes into the show. He never breathed. He never stopped to breathe one time. He just talked and talked and talked and talked. And he's right. The quarterback was phenomenal in the second half yesterday. He was great. He was awesome. So now, in addition to Michigan Dave and Red Sox Dave and Celtics Dave, we have to deal with this. How many days since
Patriots
the FCC
Dave
violation?
is the most powerful of all Daves, Walker. You have no idea.
Like
Patriot Dave is a whole different type of Dave. And by the way, this team is complete. Christian Gonzalez made 2 spectacular plays in the second half. When he's back on the field, that's a different defense. This team, there's no superpower in the NFL. I don't know. The Lions maybe look really good. Obviously, you still have the Chiefs. But this Patriot team, they can beat anybody, and they're young, and they're hungry, and they're physical. Patriot Dave, I can't even tell you. I know I go to like superhero movies, but it's if you want to say the villain, or it's the guy who's been on ice and all of a sudden the blood is going through his veins again, and his eyes pop open. He's like, "We're back, we're back." And he just starts eating people. That's how I feel.
He's right in one sense. Like, we are in week 5, no undefeated teams left.
Yeah.
No superpower right now. So anybody who is got momentum right now has to be feeling good. And the other thing he said that was right, the reverse angle, the all 22 angle of Drake Maye's throw on the sideline was breathtaking. It was unbelievable. He's rolling to the right. He looks like he's running out of room. He just flings it down there perfectly and beautifully, and it's that moment where you're like, oh, God, they got another one.
Well, and the thing about the Maye plays that I think is important to highlight, it's not just the quality of the play, which is spectacular, right? Yeah. To have that accuracy on the run, that speaks for itself. But It's the situation that they were in, the context that makes him so much more impressive. I mean, right before the 2-minute warning, you got to get a first down. He has the stiff arm knee barely off the ground. Then that throw that they highlighted that you have to have elite arm strength to get it underneath that cover 2 safety on the sideline to continue to run that clock down. Like, those are the plays that lead to not enough time being left on the clock for Josh Allen. Those are game-winning plays that require a massive level of difficulty.
This is Picasso painting. This is Mozart with his symphony. Just an unbelievable throw. And you get to the point, and I've had this with the point. I had it obviously with Brady. You get with Michigan, where you start expecting, like, this guy's going to make a play. Walker's never had that.
You've never had a quarterback like this at Michigan.
He's never had any moment in his professional sports career rooting where you're like, my team's going to beat your team because it's my team. And it happened quick. It's like, this guy's just making plays. He looked a little rushed in the first half, but he came out in that second half and played perfect football. Not good football. It was a perfect half of football.
In the second half, he was 13 of 14, 186 yards on the road against an undefeated team in Buffalo.
Yeah.
T-Bob, I just need to add on to the plays that you were discussing, and let's throw in the fact that on third down their end of the game, when they're in field goal range, Drake Maye evades a sack, gets back to the line of scrimmage, doesn't throw the ball away. Buffalo has no timeouts. Clock keeps rolling. That's an unbelievable
play.
Correct, from a young quarterback who, like, guy deserves so much credit, man. In an era where there's a bunch of bums playing at that position, a bunch of guys that aren't being developed correctly, then he could go out, do that, make every right play in Buffalo on a Sunday night. Thank goodness that we've got another one that we could look forward to, because there really aren't many around the league.
Yeah.
He's got ball knowledge.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness the Patriots have a good quarterback.
I couldn't care less.
What did we go, 3 years without one?
I'm not going to lie. I find this to be entertaining. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by
class
Maye.
will go down. I mean, Jaden Daniels is the real deal. If you're redrafting that class, you have obviously the number one, the Bears guy, which I think Caleb Williams, the verdict is out. You hear some people say great. Some people say work in progress. Some people say miss. I'm in between. He's showing signs of improvement. Jaden Daniels is spectacular. Jaden Daniels is a spectacular quarterback. He hasn't showed us an inch of letdown. So, and then you have our guy, Maye. So that could end up being like, I don't want to say what was the class, the LA, the 84 class or whatever.
It's an 83 class.
Guys,
83, yeah.
I think 2 of them you can officially say are no doubt hits, barring injury.
Bo Nix is a hit too.
Yeah, Bo Nix
so
is a hit
4,
as well.
So, I mean, that class, what a quarterback class setting up for the future.
If you look at the AFC odds now, Dave, as you declare,
We're not doing this, are we?
as he declares,
We're not doing this.
As he declares the Patriots dynasty as being back,
They're 22-1.
plus 2,200 seems. Dave, is that good
That
value?
can't be accurate. I don't know where we got those, but anybody who's telling me the Steelers are lower odds than the Patriots have no eyeballs and have no brain. The Patriots should have beaten the Steelers by 40. They turned the ball over 5 times. The Steelers, if they played 1,000 times, the Steelers got their 1 win versus the Patriots. They don't belong on the same field. The Texans are cowards. The Jaguars, get them out of there. The Ravens, this isn't updated. This
No, Dave. Okay, I'm getting it from
It's
the
up
control
there.
room that these
Nice
are indeed live.
The
odds.
Ravens
The
are
Ravens are
9-1.
That's what Liam's saying. That's what control is saying. Dave,
They're 1-4.
I'm looking at it on my phone right now.
Dave, this feels like you need to make a Patriots play today.
The Ravens are plus 900. The Ravens are one of the worst teams in the league. Unless they think Lamar's coming back, they're not going to lose the rest of the season. Colts 800, no chance. Chargers look terrible. Broncos, no chance. Listen, there's 3 teams on this list, honestly.
No. The Broncos are on the list. The Broncos are on the list.
No, there's
Chargers
3
are
teams
too
on this
injured.
list.
The Broncos went to the Eagles yesterday and won.
Yeah, but
They're still not good.
Bro, watch out for the
Broncos
Colts,
aren't
though.
playing good football. I mean, the Eagles weren't playing great football. The Bills, the Chiefs, and the Patriots. Those are the 3 teams that can win the AFC. Maybe the Ravens get it going with Lamar. Maybe. Listen,
Defense
the
is too
Colts,
bad.
the Chargers, the Broncos. I know football. These teams win no championship and slap them in the face. I know championship football. There's 3 teams in the AFC. The Chiefs, the Bills, the Patriots. That's it.
I hate this. This is the worst.
Everything.
This is the worst thing that could have happened, and nobody's panicking over here. Nobody's mad. Nobody's angry. We're just gonna let him sit over there in Miami or Nantucket or wherever the hell he is right now, and he gets to be happy. Why is he gonna be happy all the time?
I don't know, dude. It's been Boston fans our entire lives. Like, sure, when we were young, they were painted as some hard scrabble, long-suffering fan base, and now I'm 36 years old, Dave. I see you looking quizzical. All y'all have done my entire life is win championships in every single sport.
I mean,
you said it yourself.
The Celtics, 2 years, right, since we won the championship.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit of a drought. I mean,
Oh my God, shut up. Oh my God, dude.
But the Patriots, again, and everyone's getting it. Everyone, and I get it. If you've been dominated by a franchise and a fan base for 2 decades, you want to get your punches, your kicks, your licks in, and people have. And they're still doing it all the way in college football with Belichick. I mean, talk about a bad weekend for a guy. He's rooting against the Patriots. They're losing by 40, taking timeouts for some reason with 20 seconds left in the game. To the point, I don't know if you saw that, they cut his game, and whoever was in the studio of the UNC game got mad. They're like, I don't know why Belichick's taking timeouts, but they're getting their shots in on him. You've been getting your shots in on us, and it's over. We're back. We have a quarterback. We're going to be top level competing for the next 10 years. So 15 years. It's great, and I'm ready to go. I've had nothing to chirp about, talk about. Sundays haven't mattered to me in a little bit, and we're back. And I talked to my friends, the Crafts. They said, we're back, Dave, and we are back, and it's great to be back.
Talk to my friend, the Crafts.
When do we get to talk about Penn State being the biggest embarrassment in college?
Well, hold on. We're gonna.
Because it's all going to be him.
No. Hold on. We got to respect the clock. We got a ton of Penn State UCLA talk going on.
All right.
Before we leave this game, though, speaking of solid plans, executing on the plan, there was a fan that went viral at the game last night. Did y'all see this? Josh Allen rolls out, throws it in the crowd. Old boy snatches it. Great catch. And then knowing the NFL is going to come take that ball from him, he immediately throws it up under the shirt and takes off into the night so that nobody can ever take his Josh Allen football.
I've never understood this. I've never understood why the NFL treats these like state secrets when you throw. Who cares? Like,
it's
if
insane.
You catch a ball, why can't you keep it?
It should be like baseball, where they just throw them to the crowd constantly.
But they only have so many footballs like in the arena.
But why? This is a
They should have
billion-dollar
more.
organization.
They should have more. I agree.
Correct. It's a $1 billion organization, and they act like they're hard up for a couple footballs. I've never really understood why they are so adamant that you can't keep a football. If you get a football, it's your football. There's no other sport. If a puck goes into the crowd, if a baseball goes in the crowd, it's your. I guess basketball
gets it back,
but that's a little different. You keep the thing going. There's no dead. I don't understand what the deal. Greg's Olsen. I see him in the waiting room. Maybe we'll ask him. Maybe he knows why these footballs are so valuable that they have to get him back, and the guy has to literally sprint out of the stadium like he's going to dump in his pants and leave. Makes no sense.
Question about that fan.
Yeah.
He's sitting on the front row of Bills and Patriots on a Sunday night. He's watching a great game. He gets the ball and immediately makes a split-second decision. I am leaving. I'm getting out of here. I'm giving up the rest of this experience, and I am taking this ball. Is the ball worth that?
But Brent, you can go to great games anytime in your life. Just how many times do you leave a game with a football?
It's actually, I was kind of on your side. That's kind of not a bad point by Meek there.
That also wasn't a split-second decision. That guy made that decision like 10 years ago. If
That's
a
a
ball
horrible
ever
decision.
comes to me, I'm running away.
That's a horrible decision. He's a grown man. It's a football. Who cares? You don't get the experience of watching. That guy could have said, I was there the day Drake Maye was born.
Oh, my
like
God.
He'll have 15 years to do that with Drake Maye.
You can't trade that. You could just replace the football and say, hey, I kept it. I don't understand that. You could if you're giving it to your kid, you can just lie to him and give him a different ball. Makes no sense.
All right, guys, coming up next, you heard Dave talk about it. We got Greg Olsen joining the show. Keep it here on FS1. More Wake Up Barstool in a couple minutes. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Wake Up Barstool here on Monday morning. Every single Monday, we are lucky enough to be joined by one of the best in the business. That is Greg Olsen. Greg, what's going on, brother? Thank you so much for waking up with us today.
Yeah, what's up? It's good to see you guys. What's happening?
Much better hat today. I won't get into it, but I'm
How
obvious.
long you been waiting to wear that hat?
I got a whole
5
army
years.
of Patriot hats. I wear them. We go back long enough. You've been through the Patriot days. You've been through Patriot Dave and everything. I got to start this before we get in. A lot of people are chirping me, Bills fans being like, oh, October, Super Bowl. For a Bills fan who has never won a Super Bowl to act like you can't get excited. They've had nothing but regular season wins. So Bills fans, again, I think you guys are cute. You jump through your tables, Bills Mafia, you get drunk, you wear the Zubaz. You've never won anything. And I think you, like I said, pat you guys on the head. Don't any Bills fan ever tell a Patriots fan, oh, regular season Super Bowl. For a guy who I go to get my cereal in the morning, Cheerios, I open the cupboard and Super Bowl rings fall out of my cupboard. So don't ever tell a Patriots fan, oh, regular season Super Bowl. I just had to get that out there. Bills fans cannot say that. You guys just can't. Greg, welcome to the show. I've already gone off. I don't want to make a Patriots show. Did you watch Drake Maye last night?
So Drake Maye is from Charlotte. I've seen Drake Maye play since he was in high school. He went to a high school 5 minutes from my house. You should have seen him play basketball in high school. I mean, he is a sick athlete. I'm not surprised he's doing so well. I mean, last night he looked like he's going to be the best quarterback in the league. I mean, he's that good against that team. That throw he made to Stephon Diggs on the scramble to the right sideline, you can't throw the ball better than that. He's physical. He's tough. He can run the ball. I mean, he's everything you want a young quarterback coming into the league in today's world. Play from the pocket, play outside the pocket, play scramble drill, design runs, scramble runs, physical, smart as hell, normal dude. I mean, he checks every box. He was arguably the best player on the field against the MVP. I mean, he was that good.
I love this show.
I might quit the company. I might quit the company.
Greg.
No, listen, you got to call what it is. I saw something today. You know, you're watching the game and you're like, wow, he's playing well, but you're not like watching the box score like you would be, you know, when I'm calling the game or whatnot. I think he was like 9 for 9 in the fourth quarter. I think
And not easy throws. Not easy throws.
No.
He's stiff-arming linemen. He's making plays to Stephon Diggs. Stephon looks. All right, I've already gone into it, so I don't want to make this all about the Patriots, even though I think that now we're back. We were talking a little bit. You had the Jets-Cowboys. Maybe one of the worst football games. One of the worst football games ever played. As an announcer, how quickly into it are you just like, we're stuck, and you got to start going through your bag of what are we doing here? Because that game was unwatchable.
Yeah, it was tough. And, you know, it was kind of like the football gods. I had been really lucky through 4 weeks. We called some incredible games. And we had that overtime Cowboys-Giants game with the 64-yard field goal to tie it from Aubrey. We had the Eagles game a couple weeks ago. That was awesome. Like, we've had some great games. They got us back in week 5. I think going into the game, I think the conversation, at least we had early, was, all right, here you have one of the best offenses in the league in Dallas, and Dak is playing out of his mind. And then they have the worst defense through 4 weeks. You know, they're like historically bad. Could that be enough to get this Jets offense rolling, get Justin Fields moving a little bit with the passing game? And it was 30-3 at one point. Aaron Glenn settles for a field goal to make it 30-6. And at no point was it remotely competitive. But I got to give Dak a lot of credit. I think he's playing as well, if not better, than anybody in the league. This is like 2023 Dak. And I think through 5 games, he's in the conversation for being MVP.
What's crazy is the line, and shows you what the people in Vegas know. That line flipped to the Jets were actually favored right before kickoff. Do you find that, like, I tweeted this out. I do believe it. I think the Jets may be the worst franchise ever. Like, I really think they're that bad at everything. They're not only bad on the field, they generally are a circus act. Aaron Glenn doesn't look like he has a clue what's going on. How quickly, like, I would fire the guy. I don't think this is ever, I think that team is in total disarray. He's lost the team. They don't know what they're doing. How long would you give us a new coach like that? Do you have to give him? Or I mean, you look at what the Patriots did. They longer, but they pulled the plug on Mayo pretty quickly.
Yeah.
They didn't give him a long time. They're like, oh, this isn't working. We're starting over. I think they knew they had Vrabel in the wings. But how long do you let a guy like this go? And it's probably not him, but
Yeah, so I think you have to look and say, okay, well, who they've changed that position, they've changed quarterback, they've changed head coach, they've fired coordinators. And it seems like it really doesn't matter. It's rinse and repeat, whether it was Robert Saleh or Gase, or I mean, we can go back every single coach who's been there, and really the results haven't changed. I think when you take a step back and you evaluate what they're trying to capture, they're trying to say, okay, Aaron Glenn obviously has history with the organization. He just went through a very similar situation, albeit as a coordinator alongside Dan Campbell in Detroit, taking what was a perennially horrible team, non-competitive, and has turned him into one of the best stories, one of the best teams in football over the last couple of years. So I think the idea is, okay, he was there when Dan Campbell helped turn that thing around. Can he bring some of those lessons learned from a similar situation in Detroit? Can he bring them here to the Jets? He loves the Jets, played for the Jets, has a lot of history. Maybe he's the guy for the job. The question that I always had, and this isn't a knock on Aaron Glenn, because I think he's a good coach and has, obviously his time in the NFL is pretty impressive. But you had Robert Saleh, who was everything they said that now Aaron Glenn was hired for: culture, attitude, defense, leadership. All those things are true. That was why they hired Robert Saleh. And then about a year ago, almost to the day, they fire Robert Saleh. At the time, he's got a top 5 defense in the league. The Aaron Rodgers thing hadn't gone according to plan. Offensively was their issue. So they fire their defensive coach to hire a defensive coach to only get worse on defense and still not be good on offense. I just don't understand what these organizations are doing. That's probably, if I was a Jets fan, that'd be my biggest frustration. But I think it's just bigger than the coach, bigger than the quarterback in New York.
Greg, hey, Brandon Walker, most exciting football personality in the world. Listen, it happened again. The Arizona Cardinals running back yesterday breaks into the clear, 76-yard touchdown. He's going in. They're going to be up 28-6. They're going to win the game easily. He fumbles through the end zone. They have another crazy fumble later. They end up losing the game. We asked Coach Gruden this last week. You weren't here because it happened last week, but now I'm going to ask you, if you're a teammate and if you're on a team and you watch a teammate do this and you lose the game, how do you act? What do you do? This is crazy that it keeps happening. Professional football players not crossing the goal line with the ball in their hands.
Yeah, that's one, like the bad beats. That's about as bad of a beat. You're a quarter of an inch from being up 28-6 in the fourth quarter against arguably the worst team in the league, at least in the conversation through the first 4 games with the Titans, and the game's all but over. So then you go from not getting up 28-6 because guys can't run through the goal line. And then, of course, the or the interception to fumble to kick into the end zone is just a ridiculous play. If you're Arizona this morning, there's a lot of disappointing losses in the league. I've been a part of a lot of them. You're sick. You get over it. The coulda, shoulda, woulda. That might be the worst as far as just like a meaningless regular season game. Just the manner in which they lost the fourth quarter lead. You can't make that up. Like if that happens in the Madden, you're like breaking your controller, right? You're like throwing it against the wall. So I don't know why guys have the need to drop the ball. If I was a head coach, I'd be like, if you don't run with the ball to the sideline and keep it tucked until you get, I'm just going to cut you. You're just not going to play for me.
Can you put in the contract when they come in? I know this is a dead ass real question because it solve it. If you drop the ball in one of those situations, you agree it's $1 million fine, $1 million cash.
Yep.
Nobody would do it. I guarantee you, if people signed a contract in their thing, it's $1 million fine. If you, with no contact, intentionally drop the football, you pay $1 million. 0 people would do it. 0. It's just not paying attention. It's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's probably a lot of ways that you could do it. I mean, everyone says, oh, cut him. But then it's like, well, what happens if it's Derrick Henry? Not that I think he would do it, but like, there's always, rules for some and not always everybody. But I think the bigger part, and you can call me old fashioned, and obviously anyone who ever watched me, like I wasn't a big flashy guy. I wasn't a big celebration guy. Like this wasn't ever, I don't really have a lot of patience or interest in any of that. So like, I think a big part of this is for a lot of these guys, you see it with a lot of young guys, they're so excited to score because they have some crazy end zone dance. They have this celebration planned, and they spend so much time during the week thinking through, if I score, what am I going to do? And they're in such a rush to get to it. Like, run through the end zone, pat your teammates on the helmet, run to the sideline, get your high fives, and go try to win the game. Get ready to go play the next possession. I'm a little more like old school with that. I have zero patience for the rest of the nonsense.
You're a Barry Sanders guy. Switching gears, I always like the player perspective on this. College football is a different game. Vandy, Alabama. Diego Pavia talked more crap coming into this game about Alabama than anybody's probably talked about Alabama in their lives. And he's saying it's not going to be close. They beat him last year, obviously. He's actually practicing, which I've never seen, the victory formation in warmups. He's going the knee, throwing the ball in the air, and he lays an egg. Vandy could have actually probably beaten this game, but Pavia fumbled inside the 5, threw an interception, going in, and then there's video coming out, and he's getting into his jarring with an Alabama fan. I think we have the video. And he says, I can say whatever the F I want. That's what Pavia says. One of Pavia's teammates is like, you're talking to a kid. I'm curious on your take on this. It's a different era. I thought he deserved everything he got from the Alabama fans. I think they have the right to yell at him. And his butt wrote checks at it. Look at it. I mean, this is crazy to start with this. But if you're going to talk all this crap, fair game for people to talk crap to, especially, by the way, he's like older than you, Greg. He's 25.
Yeah, listen, I think all is fair. This is not the Ryder Cup. This is not golf. This is not like football. The things that are said in a football stadium from fans to players, from players back to fans, it is not for the faint of heart. This is not church league. This is not, it's just not the manner of the sport. And I think college football, maybe more than ever, the intensity, the rivalries, the, guys talking trash, putting themselves out there. I think if he goes out there and has 3 touchdowns and lights the world on fire, this morning we're celebrating him. We're saying, man, what confidence, what pizzazz. But when you put it out there and you fumble with a chance to go up 14-0 early in that game, and you throw a later pick, like, you open yourself up to criticism. So I have no problem with guys being brash. I have no problem with guys talking trash, right? I mean, we saw it week 1, the quarterback from Florida State talking trash about Alabama. The difference was he came out and he backed it up. He played out of his mind, and they won, and he was a hero. So I have no problem with guys putting it out there, but then you can't do the whole like, oh, it's just a kid. It's just a kid when you lose and you get throttled and you don't play particularly well. The kneeling in the pregame, I would wonder, does he do that every game? Like, is that part of like his
I don't think so.
I have no idea. Obviously, I have no.
Could be. I think that was a direct shot at Alabama. And then also he's bringing Manziel on the sidelines. Manziel's getting into it with the crowd. I don't know what I thought about that. I'm curious. We'll get into it later. But he's not. I mean, he's an A&M guy. So I don't know what he's.
Yeah, I didn't know why. I saw clips of Manziel too. I wasn't exactly sure why he was there. Was it he's with
him and Pavia?
Pavia's
boy.
Pavia's hero, yeah.
But still, I don't know. It didn't like Michael Irvin with your alumni sitting on, and you guys look great. If you want to close on that, how you feeling about Miami? I know you've talked to the coach. They look great this year. I get Michael Irvin. I get when you're an alumni of your school and but Manziel on the Vandy sideline, that doesn't fit to me. I get that they're friends and they like each other, but it's not your school. That was weird to me too. And he gave the double bird salute to the fans in Alabama. So a little bit odd there. What do you think of your Hurricanes?
I mean, you talk about being back. I know you said the Pats are back, and for a night, yes, they were back. No, I don't mean that as a jerk. I'm saying, like, we'll see how the rest of the season goes, but they beat the doors off the Panthers last week, and then they win a huge game against arguably one of the best teams with the best player in the league. So all credit to the Pats.
I liked it as a jerk.
Miami is flat out back. I mean, they've had a real schedule, right? Not all undefeated teams are created equal, especially in today's modern college football with non-conference games and how teams are kind of padding their schedules and whatnot for out of conference. But I know the ACC is not a juggernaut. But as far as out of conference games, right, they've had Florida, who is still a huge rivalry game and is still, we just saw what Florida did this past weekend.
Yeah.
Notre Dame to start the season. They're not shying away from guys. USF didn't seem like a big game earlier in the year, but they had beat Florida the week before, so that turned into a bigger one, beat their doors off. And then, Florida State doesn't get upset last week against Virginia, and that game went to overtime, right? They lost the overtime to Virginia. That's another top 10 win from an undefeated Florida State team on the road. So, I mean, they've earned not only being, I think they should be 2 in the country. I think they should be right behind Ohio State. I think their wins, the style in which they've won, I think Carson Beck can flat out play. I didn't think he'd be as good as Cam Ward. I'll be honest. I probably was wrong on what I expected. He's played a million games at Georgia, probably didn't get the credit he deserved, and that's a whole nother conversation. But that team can flat out play. Mario Cristobal's a stud. I've known him since I was a kid. He recruited me and coached me in college. But I just hope we don't stub our toe and we just keep this thing rolling. But I'll tell you what, this is the best we've looked in 15 years.
If they win the Natty, any chance of like a 7th Floor Crew reunion? Or is that,
third leg red
gone?
Coming back?
It's gone.
All right.
Who did
Just checking. That could be bring
gone.
back the old days. We're going all the way back to the days of the Hurricanes.
We're moving forward, Dave.
I know. That's the one thing for those who don't know. I've been forbidden to that was one of the first rules of engagement. No 3rd Floor Crew. All right, 5th Floor Crew. All right, Greg. Always good to see you.
But you broke the rules.
No, we didn't play it.
Well, I'd hope not.
Wait.
No, exactly. So that's we did not play it. Man of the year, runner up 4 times.
Greg, who do the Knights have this week? Who do y'all got fresh off the 44-0 drubbing?
Appreciate you following along, man. We got 2 games left. We play Holy Trinity, good program here in school, feeds into a really good Catholic high school that plays good ball. So we got a big game, man, Thursday. Under the lights.
Hell yeah, man. Best of luck. Keep it going. You and Keekly kicking ass, shaping the youth. Thank you, Greg. You have a great day, man.
Thanks, Greg. See ya.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, coming up next, it is time to dive into the world of college football with this man, college football's #1 personality, as Brandon Walker has you a fresh top 10, and things have changed. More Wake Up Barstool.
Yeah, they have.
Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. Another great weekend of college football. Well, actually, another great weekend of college football. Right now, Brandon Walker's got a brand new top 10.
Yeah, it's brand new. It is literally brand new because I had to let go of some longtime teams I held on for too long. I held on for Texas too long. I held on for Penn State too long. Both embarrassed me. Both embarrassed themselves this week. So this is a brand new top 10. I've got Miami moving all the way up to #2. And by the way, I had to really stop myself from putting them #1 because that Ohio State win over Texas, not aging that well, but Ohio State still, they're just destroying teams right now. They're taking their will. I got Miami #2, Oregon #3, Alabama 4. That's a very solid win against Vanderbilt. I got Texas Tech coming all the way up to 5. I thought this was a dangerous spot for them at Houston, and they just go handle business. They legitimately look like a national championship contender. Ole Miss 6, nothing said about that. Indiana 7, Oklahoma 8, A&M 9. They're solid, but the quarterback's going to hold them back. And then Georgia is the one team holding on there at 10, even though there's some undefeated teams right behind them. A lot of change in there, a lot of teams moving up. But again, I had to finally realize that my takes on Texas and Penn State were stupid and wrong.
You dropped A&M down 3 spots after a win versus Mississippi State.
I sure did. I watched them very intently. I watched them very specifically. We were in that game till deep in the 3rd quarter. It was 7-3 at the half. Their quarterback is going to hold them back.
So that's why you did it? It wasn't out of hatred for them beating Mississippi State?
I just explained it very well to you. I don't know how to do it
and I don't know if I completely agree with Brandon. There's a lot about this top 10 that I want to get into, but noticeably absent from the top 10 is Penn State.
And Texas.
And right now, Will Blutman, you kind of stepped all over the segue right there. Because right now, we have in our premier Penn State fan, one of our premier Penn State fans here at Barstool, a man who had an absolutely awful weekend as Penn State blows it in one of the biggest upsets we've ever seen. The Phillies lose. The Eagles lose for the first time in years. Connor Griffin, how we feeling, Connie?
Bad. Really bad. It's a pleasure to be on the Monday show, though. Hello, everybody. Hello, Dave.
Is it a pleasure to be here? Why you're here?
Not necessarily, no.
Shot? No, go back to that shot. Look at this. Here is Dave sitting.
Yeah, also, we got to, even before we go in, I don't know if you saw, I got into some ratings guy. I don't know if you guys saw this, but like some person who does, I don't know what is, I have no problem with them, but I like to see how bad they say our ratings are on the show.
Yeah.
Just not that I overly care about like the network TV ratings, but it keeps, you anything. I'm like Brady, who cried when he got drafted in the 6th round. It's like any little piece of motivation to get going. So this guy, I'm like, send me the ratings. You're not putting out the ratings. He's trying to say that the Connor Griffin Ebo show gets more viewers than the Monday show, which I know is not true. I do not know how they are getting these numbers, but I would bet my net worth, everything I have, Miss Peaches, that there's no way the Ebo Connor show on like Friday or whenever they do it outdraws our show. I don't know how
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
I mean, I thought that's why I was coming on the show. We needed the C. Griff bump. We could get Ebo in here. I thought that's why I was here today, not to talk about the disappointing weekend.
I did my thing with you, and we don't interact that much.
Not really,
But
no.
it came to my attention, like you do this meal thing. Like I have my pregame meal, and people start getting on you for it because, like, well, your lucky meal. Penn State hasn't won a big game in 100 years, and you keep doing this meal. Now, I've seen you say it's not a lucky meal, it's just a meal. But then you started changing the meal because of pressure from the outside world. You're doing the press conferences, the last thing you're focused on, and I don't blame you. Why would you be focused on UCLA, who hadn't led the entire season? But hey, I'm doing the red high C, and I'm going to go to Sonic instead of going to here and this and that. And then you're so caught in the pomp and circumstance, you go out, you get your head handed to you as a 30-point favorite.
First of all, I love McDonald's. Great sponsor of most of sports. This is me when I was maybe 3rd grade. I've been doing this in the down years. I've been doing this when we're great, when we've won games, when we've lost games. I've never said, as the game day breakfast movement has grown, people have started to equate it to like, oh, this is his lucky breakfast. That's never been the case. And I changed it this week, as I have done last year, as I did the year before, because the Phillies were in Red October, and I was changing it. I've done this. You could check. I've done this before. It was not because of you or Big Cat, which I have to talk to Big Cat later. It was not because of you guys telling me from the peanut gallery, oh, you got to change something up. It was just, I've always done this. I change it whenever we play an orange team. I'm not going to drink orange high C if we're playing Illinois. So that's why.
Oh, my God.
There's a lot that goes into it, Brandon.
Connor,
What do you think of that tweet from your coach? Does he do that every week?
He does do that every week.
And let's go get Northwestern.
He does it every week, and at this point,
let's go load it up versus the Wildcats.
he does it every week. It's a laughing stock at this point. We can get into that as well. But before we get into the game, I do have to give we don't have to flash this up on the screen. I have to give a huge shout out. Huge shout out to Blutman.
Why?
You deserve it.
What about me?
Yeah.
Meek trolled me as soon as I walked into this building with that.
I want to support my good friend Liam for his big win this weekend.
Yeah, we are Bruins.
Yeah.
We are.
We are.
for those that don't know, because it's pretty inside Barstool, but Connor Griffin now has to be Liam Blutman's butler.
Yeah.
For the entire week. Blood, how are you going to put Connor to work?
I have no idea. It took me
Make him do your laundry.
It took me 4 plays to actually think that we could win that game because I looked across the field and there was no fear instilled in my body, quite honestly. It's not even about the team that we played. It's that we led against an FBS team. It's that we beat a college football team. If we beat Scottsdale Community College, I think I would have reacted the same way. I didn't take my opponent seriously at all. As for Connor Griffin, yeah, he's my butler for a week. I'm going to Vegas tomorrow, go back to the hometown, see the Golden Knights play, a little bit of breaking news there. Itchy for Mitchy, see the Knights debut. Maybe Connor drives me to the airport. Maybe Connor comes with me to Las Vegas and drives me around, drives me to dinner with my friends that I haven't seen in years, maybe films me and Biz doing videos. I don't know. Connor Griffin, you're in for quite the week. I also retracted the Max Delente punishment, which was he would have to be ginger because I felt bad for him after a drive of watching that game.
Yeah.
We're feeling bad for Max?
I have heart.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does anybody on this show know who Tim Skipper is?
Yeah.
Yes.
You saw the
Of course we know
tweet.
Skip.
Did you see the tweet as well, Dave?
I didn't see a tweet. I'm just saying, Neuheisel, I've never seen anyone get more credit than the head coach. Why are I don't want to say UCLA or the country is racist, but what is going on? Why is Neuheisel acting like this guy's the head coach? He's getting carried. They're showing Tim Skipper's the head coach.
Dave.
He's the interim head coach. He gets the credit for the victory. Why is the offensive coordinator? Because he has this weird hair like his dad, and they're in this.
It's not really weird.
No, it's because Nico did incredible. Go ahead, Liam.
Who cares? It's the other guy.
Coach Skipper is a great man. He did a great job. He deserves great credit. But Dave Portnoy, let me tell you about a kid who was born at the UCLA Medical Center about 33 years ago, born to UCLA graduates, born to a UCLA football player, born to a UCLA football head coach, a guy that has grinded for years to be at the helm at UCLA, a guy that played quarterback 11 years and a month ago, came in, had to play against Texas in Jerry's World. Ooh, hit the little sluggo, game winner, Jordan Payne, bang, gets carried off the field the same way 11 years ago that he was carried off the field on Saturday. It was a full circle moment. Jerry Neuheisel had been begging UCLA for years to let him call plays, finally got the opportunity, did that with it. A legend yesterday, a legend today, a legend tomorrow, Bruin-blooded guy forever. Jerry Neuheisel does deserve that much love, if not more. I love Jerry Neuheisel. Thank you, Jerry Neuheisel.
So Tim Skipper, just throw him in the ocean.
Well,
No,
hold on.
Tim Skipper did a great job and set a great line
Guys.
post-game. No more sad Sundays.
I want to have. Okay, yes, Brandon, go ahead.
We're talking about UCLA too much. We should
Let's focus on
Hold on,
this. Let's focus
Hold
on
on.
what win. He got the win. Let's focus on him.
No, so here is the transition then. Tim Skipper, to Dave's point, is now tied with James Franklin with one career top 10 victory. Shout out Tim Skipper.
100%.
Connor, how does that feel?
Oh, it feels terrible. I mean, yeah, we're the laughingstock of college football. It was the worst Penn State loss I've experienced in my entire lifetime. This team needed to win against Oregon. And I said to Brandon, I said to everybody in this building, if they lose the Oregon game, that is a major problem. You could see this team absolutely spiral. I called it in the preseason. That was the spiral on Saturday. This team, it's looking really ugly. And if James Franklin didn't have a $56 million buyout, he absolutely would be gone today, yesterday.
Listen, this is another thing entirely. This is a team and a coach that have never been able to win the big one, but you could trust them to get it right and play the bad teams and beat the bad teams. Now they're going and losing to teams who have not led a single second this season. They're giving up, and you can talk about Drew Aller, talk about this. They gave up 42 points to a team that got blown out by New Mexico. This
After
is
he paid $3 million for
a
Jim
whole
Knowles.
new problem for James Franklin. This is new territory. This isn't the guy who can't win the big one. This is a guy who is about to lose his grip on the Penn State football program.
If they've never been able to win the big
And
one.
on top of that, they did what they do. Granted, obviously, this isn't a top 10 team. His team hasn't won, but they're way down. And I mean, they got back in this game like you snap your fingers. They blocked the punt.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, they got this thing back under control. There's a ton of time. They're down one score, and they can't stop them. They just don't make the plays when it matters. You get all the way down there, 4th and 1, 4th and 2 on this play after getting the ball back in this disaster play. They just don't make big plays when they have to be made. They got back in this game. It was almost more shocking how quickly they got back in this game and couldn't get over the hump and get the win. Shocking. And by the way, bad for the Big Ten. Bad for the Big Ten.
I agree.
For the Big Ten, the mighty Bruins are coming back.
I think in general it was a horribly coached game. Franklin has been saying the entire season throughout, because we didn't look right against FIU, against Nevada, against Villanova, and he's been saying, oh, well, look at Clemson. Look at how they're barely beating these teams, or they're getting upset. Look at this other team that's barely beating teams or getting upset. We're not getting upset. Everything's fine. Well, you saw that blow up right in his face on Saturday. You let one major loss against Oregon become 2. Now the season's virtually over, and all these guys you brought back from last year who was supposed to be really good, they're really coming back for nothing.
And this is Brandon Walker's national championship pick for the season, too. We didn't even get into that.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Unbelievable.
It's not.
Give
guys,
credit to
it's
Walker for still maintaining some shred of relevance in the college football world with these picks, Meek.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
this is that was not crazy with the information that we
But
had.
they've never won the
We-
big one. How can
What
you take
is
them to win the big
crazy?
one?
You can't go to
is
the
how
Rose Bowl and win a
quickly
blowout.
It is all
Exactly.
falling apart. Nobody
By the
walks
way,
into the
if
Rose
Penn
Bowl
State
gets
wins
out
out, they're in the playoff.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, hold
But
on.
they got to go to Ohio State.
We got plenty more college football coming up next hour here on Wake Up Barstool. We still got to get to the rest of NFL Sunday as Patriot Monday's taking over. More Wake Up coming up. Wake Up Barstool, rolling right along here on a Monday on FS1. Spread the good word, guys. Dave Portnoy, Brandon Walker, Liam Blutman, and Meek Phil. Great first hour. Celebrated the rebirth of the Patriots dynasty, a dynasty of old that was led by Bill Belichick. For many years thought to be maybe the greatest football coach that has ever drawn breath on this earth. Well, if you want to see a masterclass in tearing down a legacy and reputation, well, it continues to happen every single Saturday in Chapel Hill. As this last weekend, Clemson absolutely trounces UNC. It's been a disaster for Bill down there since day one. Saturday felt like you hit rock bottom, you create a new drill, you go down even further. Dave, you've kind of pseudo-defended Bill a couple of times on the show today. He seems to be at odds with your beloved Patriots, but he's brought you a lot of joy. I need your take on where you stand with Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take a bullet for the guy. A guy is a part of one of the greatest runs I've ever had in sports, and I'm actually on the record at a press conference saying I'd murder somebody for him. I said that. I go, Bill, at a Super Bowl press conference, if you need anybody murdered, I'm your guy. I'll bury the body. So I'm always going to be a Belichick guy. I need him to stop coaching college football. I need him to maybe retire, go into the booth. I think he's good at talent. But I mean, this tweet we're talking about, I just read this tweet from, and this is at 8:01 a.m. today, from Ross Martin. Here it is. According to sources inside the UNC football program, it is a directive from the staff, Bill Belichick, to not tweet, retweet anything Patriots related. That's clearly why UNC football has not posted anything from Drake Maye's electric primetime win over the Buffalo Bills. This is crazy. I mean, I don't know about tearing down legacies. Obviously, the divorce between Brady and Belichick, it seems like Brady got custody of the kids, the trophies, everything.
Yep.
He won another ring. This is so petty and so stupid. Even if you hate the Crafts, and the Crafts and Belichick don't get along, that's not a state secret. But you are the coach at UNC. You have a guy who has the greatest game of his career. How are you not letting them do that? It's like he's lost the plot or something. He's never going to be a good college football coach. It just doesn't work. The guy Lombardi, who's his GM or whatever, by all accounts stinks. I've never heard anybody say a nice word about Mike Lombardi. He's writing on a typewriter. You see him write on the typewriter? I use a typewriter so it slows down, makes me think. Get him out. Get this guy. He should be doing what Saban's doing right now. Go get a nice, cushy media gig, impart your wisdom, but you are kind of embarrassing yourself on every level right now, and it hurts me. It hurts me as a Patriot fan, as somebody who loves this guy, to see him rolled out there, embarrassed every single week. In this tweet, you're not going to let the University of North Carolina talk about Drake Maye? You're the only... Every single social media does that. Hey, our guys in the NFL. So it's hard to fathom what's going on, but I pray somebody gets them out of college football.
And it's a tweet that I understand, guys, if you read that tweet and you kind of want to roll your eyes on that, like I understand and be like, that doesn't seem very believable. But we have to remember, we also had a tweet from a couple of weeks ago where he has banned Patriots scouts from coming to UNC practice. I mean, talk about losing the plot. That's even worse than this.
And he confirmed that, basically. He was like, well, they don't let me in New England. And I think Vrabel is like, what are you talking about? Your scouts are allowed here. So, yeah, it is a strange, surreal thing. But when Dabo Swinney is beating you by 50, it may be time to look in the mirror and just say, all right, go with your girlfriend. Go in motel and do the nasty, but get out of college football.
I'm not convinced that's happening.
Surely he doesn't want to, do you think he
they're
really,
hooking up, Blutman?
I'm dead set on this dementia thing, man.
Liam is
just ventriloquism.
He thinks he has dementia.
I've said that for 7 months, and I said that this was going to get so sad so quick. I haven't hit the nail on the head better than this situation. So maybe if I don't think that they're doing the nasty, maybe I'm right. Maybe it's an 8% chance I'm right, but
Do you,
maybe
do you think Lombardi is controlling the whole thing like the puppet master?
him and Jordan? Yeah, maybe. I mean, what you're seeing on the field, how senile the guy is. Are we sure that he's able to perform in bed? Is a fair question, is it not?
I mean, we got some sponsors on many of our shows here that would help Bill perform in bed.
Then sell those ads.
No, I think he's putting it down.
Okay, so here's my question.
They haven't tweeted about
Whether
Drake
he's putting
Maye
it down or
since
not,
May
they're
1st.
getting embarrassed on the field.
Well, he's putting it down. He's also putting the program down. Do y'all think if we can make him be honest today, that he wants to stick this thing out and try to make UNC good? Like, there's just no way, right? Why? What motivation would he be drawing from to continue to do that?
I assume he's still a competitor.
Yes, and he loves football. I don't think he sees himself doing anything but coaching football. I will say throughout his tenure where I followed him, he does block the media out. Like, he doesn't seem to care at all what anybody says. He only cares about what he's doing. Maybe, he's like, we'll turn around, but he's just so in the football. Maybe he doesn't care like all of us. Maybe he's like, I don't care about my image. I've never clearly cared about my image. I care about coaching football, and we stink right now, and I'm obsessed with getting better. Maybe from an outsider looking in, it's tough to watch, but I guess devil's advocate, he's never cared what anybody's thought about him.
Also, college football is a 100% different game than the NFL.
Yes.
It's 100% different. It's about who you got and how you go get them. And
You're a CEO. You're not a scheme expert like he was in the
You can turn a team
NFL.
around in a year. Kurt Cignetti did it. But Kurt Cignetti's been in college football for a long time, and he's evolved with this transfer portal. He knows what he's doing, and Bill Belichick doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, and Dave, you can speak to this. You mentioned losing the plot. That's the craziest thing about the Belichick saga to me is he was the ultimate no distractions guy. Now he's got Jordan on the sideline before the game. He was the ultimate block out the noise guy, and yet he's exercising a personal vendetta against the Patriots at cost to his players. Like, it seems like he's just completely lost all of his own guiding principles.
They had been tweeting about Maye before this too. They tweeted his touchdowns against the Dolphins. They tweeted season opener highlights. So
I guess they tweeted Javonte Williams yesterday as well, but they didn't tweet about
all
Maye.
yesterday.
Petty works when you're winning. Petty works when you got Tom
100%.
Brady. Petty works when you're at the Patriots and you're winning 6 Super Bowls. Petty doesn't work when you're trying to rebuild a college football program and you're keeping scouts away from these kids and you're keeping them from tweeting about Drake Maye.
Interesting.
And a lot of these kids probably don't even care who he is. Like, these kids are younger. They didn't grow up in these dynasty days. It's great. Like, we even, we do the Fox Noon kickoff, right? And Charles Woodson's there, who's a legend and Heisman Trophy winner and won. But a lot of the kids on campus don't even know. They're like young now. It's a different world. So you got to be able to recruit these kids in his style. He's not Mr. Electricity when he comes in. It's a different world. You got to get him out. It's tough to see, but maybe he doesn't care. So I'm just saying that it's like, my uncle's lost his marbles, but the uncle's having the time of his life. I don't know.
Speaking of Ann Arbor, Dave, you were there this weekend. Big noon kickoff, Michigan, 24-10 winners over Wisconsin. I find this Michigan team to be very interesting. Obviously, one of the best rushing attacks in the entire country, but both scheme and execution standpoint. Bryce Underwood. I watched a lot of Michigan pass film last week for what we broke down on Friday. The raw physical talent is so clear. Like, the dude can spin it. Up to this point, they have been heavy on the training wheels, like full pads, elbows, knee pads, helmet. Did you think that they started to let him loose a little bit on Saturday?
I mean, the last couple of games they have, first of all, I just got to go back to Brandon Walker with that little snide. I don't find them interesting. Well, his number 1 and number 2 teams aren't the top 25, are they? So I don't know how much we care about Brandon Walker's opinion about anything right now when he's been emasculated on a national scale. They should have won this game by a lot more. They have a big test. They're 2-point dogs. They're going to USC on the road. I agree with you. They're interesting because I do think they're physical enough. I like Donovan McCauley, their wide receiver. I think he can be a number 1. Underwood's going to have to play better. He's going to have to keep getting better. They got to win this game. If they win this game, they're right in the hunt for the playoffs. I don't know how much you can take from them beating Wisconsin because Wisconsin's terrible. And I don't know what Luke Fickell's doing. Luke Fickell quit on his team last week.
Yeah.
3 timeouts, 2-score game, and he takes the timeouts into the locker room home with him. I'd fire that guy on the way out the door for that move. Michigan's a dangerous team.
This is the problem. They are dangerous. They have good players, but they're not interesting. If they had an interesting coach, if they had somebody that didn't run a 1955 offense that they went out and bought a Ferrari, they have a go-kart driver and coach. He is absolutely going to hold this team back. He is not allowing Bryce Underwood will never become what he should become. He is one of the most uniquely talented quarterbacks we have seen in a very long time, and they're going out there and they're playing. They're playing footsie with Wisconsin.
They're protected.
Wisconsin's terrible.
I don't disagree that I'd like them to open the offense up. Now, again, I did see them win a national championship with fairly conservative play calling, and they'd open it up when they needed to, and you had the 7th pick in the NFL draft behind the helm, so you had a good quarterback. It is clearly in the Michigan DNA that they like to manage the game, so to speak. They don't air it out. I don't disagree with Brandon. It may come back and bite you. I hope they open it up when needed. They've shown the ability to do that in the past. We'll see. But yes, I don't. It's like begging to get them to throw the ball more than 5 yards down the field. You feel like every throw is at the line of scrimmage. It is a little frustrating. I tell you, this McCauley kid, he can go get it. I tweeted that. Give this guy more opportunities. He jumps over the field goal post. So it's an interesting team. But this is how Michigan plays and how they've always played, really.
Yeah, it's risk averse, but it is winning. But to be the better teams, they may be forced to open it up a bit. Coming up next here on Wake Up Barstool, guys, let's head back to the NFL. We've got a lot of games to talk about. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs getting it done once again. More here on FS1.
I'd like it known, I think Vandy is very, very good.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Wake Up Barstool here on a Monday. What?
We're just talking right into the show, huh?
Yeah, I got off by 1 second. I'm a pro, dude.
We're doing a show between the show.
Yeah, we're just
He's
always
giving you a thumbs down.
What is this entire? Well, then your count was off, Carson, keeper of the studio. My ass.
Talk ball anymore.
Yeah, guys can't even talk a little ball. Like that's the whole point of this show is that we sit here and we just chop it up
Let's
like
talk
regular
ball.
guys. All right, let's talk some ball. NFL yesterday. So this is kind of a loss in the Sunday night football game, which was one of the few quality games yesterday, but maybe previous to that, the best game of the day, Bucs in Seattle. Man, the Buccaneers and the Seahawks, 2 3-1 teams that are pretty good. I think Sam Darnold, I know he made the major mistake at the end. I think Sam Darnold is legitimately a good quarterback right now, but I don't know. In fact, no, there is no quarterback in the NFL that if you need a score late in the game, losing in the fourth quarter, that you want more than Baker Mayfield. Guys, in a back-and-forth affair, he does it again. Touchdown drive with less than 3 left. Leads the game-winning field goal drive. And now the Bucs are 4-1 with 4 fourth-quarter game-winning drives.
It's crazy. And he might be the MVP through 5 weeks. We talked about Dak earlier, but he is also, can I just stop and admire this uniform matchup?
Yeah.
That is how they should look. That is how Tampa should look. That's how Seattle should look. That is phenomenal.
I love those old Seahawk uniforms. Everyone loves the old Bucks, the creamsicles.
Yeah.
But those are great uniforms, right up there with Pat the Patriot, some of the best old school uniforms you can ever have.
I was wondering how you would tie that back to the Patriots.
It didn't take off.
Listen, you said that nobody's really talking about this, and it got buried. It's only buried on this show, and we had to spend an hour talking about the Patriots.
Okay,
that Seahawks-Bucs game was incredible.
You're opening the door again. Yes, okay.
And the Ravens losing, like the Ravens, how far until they're dead? How deep does the hole have to get before we go ahead and shovel the dirt on top of them? Because 1-4 is a pretty tough hole.
I'm shoveling the dirt on the Ravens because the defense is dead. The defense is dead. And look no further than yesterday. I found a crazy stat online. The Texans had failed to score a touchdown in their last 3 games against the Baltimore Ravens. Yesterday, they scored all 8 possessions. So, like, if you just need, like, a single sentence to focus in on to show you how much it's fallen, that's it right there. And then who knows about Lamar's health? The Ravens are not – I don't think the Ravens are a threat this year.
Yeah, who cares about Lamar's health if you can't stop anybody on defense? I don't know. You have a bunch of teams that are really making arguments for their guy to be the MVP by them not playing. Lamar, yesterday, you look at that. You have Joe Burrow without Joe Burrow. And I don't know. Am I thinking of another guy? I feel like last time Burrow got hurt, that Browning guy made a little bit of a run. He had his girlfriend in the crowd and wearing her outfit.
Yeah,
She
they
was
almost made the
talking to town.
playoffs. He did well.
What the heck has happened? They are horrific. You have guys' stock going up by them not playing. Two teams. I mean, the Bengals and the Ravens were both Super Bowl picks. Both just awful. And I don't know what happened to the Ravens. The Ravens, I don't know how those odds are still that high because they didn't stop. I mean, I don't care if Lamar's back. They've been awful.
And it almost feels like mathematically this has been coming for the Ravens, right? Because like the math wins in the end, and Lamar and this team in the regular season at least has won at such an outlier clip that like a course correction has to happen eventually. It looks like it's this year. Also win an outlier clip, the Philadelphia Eagles, right? They hadn't lost in over 200 days. They finally dropped yesterday. I don't know though that I'm overly concerned about it.
I'm not concerned, but it is continuing the one storyline I have been watching with the Eagles for a while now. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts absolutely hate each other. They can't stand each other. They don't like each other. A.J. Brown wants the ball. Even in wins, he wants the ball. And yesterday, there's this one play where A.J. Brown breaks through the line, looks like he has a touchdown, but he lets up.
Yeah,
he stops running.
He hesitated.
He stops running. Jalen Hurts throws it to where he thinks he's gonna be. He misses, and in the post game, A.J. Brown's like, "Yeah, he missed me. He just missed me," and he stopped running. They hate each other.
Did you see all their pass catchers wore bright neon cleats too, so that Jalen Hurts could see him downfield?
I did not see that part.
Yeah, because it's not just A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith is also
the whole passing game is off.
The Eagles fans, and I don't know if that's just because that we live in a world with a bunch of Eagle fans, they complain more.
It's crazy.
You're 4-1.
It's crazy.
You're coming off the Super Bowl. You hadn't lost in like a year and a half or something.
Yeah.
And all these guys do is complain. It's like you're not going to go 16 and 17 and 0. You lose a game, it's early in the season. I mean, Eagle fans got to take a step back a little bit. Yes, you lost the game. You hadn't lost in 100 years. I still think the Patriots move them in, the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Lions, maybe the Patriots. There's 4 teams that can win the Super Bowl.
The Patriots cannot win the Super Bowl. Can we stop this crap?
Right.
The Patriots can't win the Super Bowl. You won a game on a Sunday night. Your quarterback looked good. You're not winning the Super Bowl. Look how far behind you are for everybody in the odds. You're not winning the Super Bowl.
You know, I remember, Brandon Walker.
Oh, my God.
When you were just a twinkle probably in your mother's eye. And the New England Patriots were led by this guy named Tom Brady playing the greatest show on turf.
I'm 2 years younger than you.
I think it was 13 to 14-point underdogs. And everyone said they can't do it. This team can't do it. They didn't know they were watching the greatest quarterback of all time birth a dynasty.
So
don't you sit there with your no Super Bowl rings, national championships, titles in any sport, and tell me who's won at every level what I can expect and what I can't. I know when I see championship medal. You shut up.
No titles in every sport. Like West Point, Mississippi hasn't won the last 2 5A state championships in Mississippi.
I heard they have a hell of a light show.
Hell of a light show.
West Point.
Yeah, it cost me $2,500.
Guys, wait, Dave, can we move the Colts into the Super Bowl category?
No, definitely not.
Why? They have
Because
the makeup.
they're not the Patriots, T-Bob.
They have the makeup of the Eagles, a bit lighter, the Kirkland brand Eagles, like I've been calling, but like Daniel Jones is legitimately good. It's maybe one of the best offensive lines of rushing attacks in the NFL.
Like
Jonathan
Dimes.
Taylor's incredible.
Tyler Warren.
I like Danny Dimes. Go back
Warren's
when he was
awesome.
drafted. I said I was pro Danny Dimes, and obviously the Giants tried to ruin him. Listen, I could be wrong, but this is a team, the Colts. You got to show me more. I'm not. Yes, they're 4-1, and you could argue. A Colts fan could be like, well, everything you're saying right now about the Patriots, you can say with the Colts. Good running game, defense look good. I don't know. I'm not sold on the Colts.
I mean, it's as simple as this. Can you picture Daniel Jones beating Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Drake May in a playoff game?
Is there anything that you do that isn't in service to Dave Portnoy?
But no,
Is there
I've
one
always
thing
hated
that
Daniel
is in
Jones,
service to Dave
Brandon.
Portnoy?
I've always hated Daniel Jones. I don't think they
think
win the
that's a
Super
fair
Bowl. It's not a hot
question,
take.
So it is a fair question, but we exist in a world where that stuff happens, right? I never would have pictured Nick Foles beating Tom Brady in a Super Bowl. Like, this is something we talked about on Roughness on Saturday. These games are individual fights. And we try to draw because, of course, we're trying to predict and analyze and have fun. And we try to act like everything's going to be consistent one week to the next. It's not. Sometimes a guy
I can
gets
only
hot.
go by my football knowledge. If a Colts fan wants to argue that they are a Super Bowl contending team, they have the resume as of right now, the way they're playing, where I can't say you need a lobotomy. You're not, you're not the Arizona Cardinals fans talking. You're not a Dolphins fan. You're not a Jets fan. You're off to a very good, surprising start. So you have every right to make that argument. I personally don't think so. I think my track record speaks for itself, that I have more credibility than the average fan, but you can make that argument.
These are our Colts. This is our team.
We love them. We believe them.
Shout out to Seth. Shout out to Seth right now.
Who I believe Seth got maybe a collaborative. He got like a collaboration from the NFL yesterday.
Oh, good for him.
Put Danny Dimes in his studio. It was great. Anyway,
Can I ask a question really quick?
Yeah.
always Liam.
Time to move on from Gino. That boy.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm
has
writing off
fallen
Geno
apart,
Smith.
hasn't he, man? Like Sam Darnold's risen, right? He's proven to be, I think, actually good. Whatever Gino had in Seattle looks like it has left him.
Maybe it's Kenny Pickett's.
He signed with the Raiders.
Yeah, but again, you got to remember, there's so many things. Sam Darnold was horrific in the playoffs. Like regular season, postseason, different animals.
Yeah.
You got to see Sam Darnold do it in the playoffs. The reason he's not with Minnesota is how he played in the playoffs.
I agree. I just mean that, look, Sam Darnold was a quarterback that I had dead and completely written off as even a regular season quarterback, and he still seems to at least be a legitimate starter. Speaking of somebody who maybe a couple of years ago was hot, now feels dead, Tua Tagovailoa, the Dolphins. That was an exciting game.
Why?
I freaking loved whoever was on the call for that game. I'm blanking on his
Eric
name.
Collins.
Maybe Eric Collins, dude. Yeah, he calls the Hornets game. Did you hear him?
He's
He called
great.
this game like it was a Super Bowl.
He's great.
Waddle, he's got Waddle. He's open. But anyway, a tale of two quarterbacks in this game to me, guys. Bryce Young continues to kind of show you that, okay, maybe there's something there. Well, Tua and this Dolphins offense they got no threat. They got
the
no
only
threat.
show talking about this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, this are the two worst teams in the league. We don't even have
Who
to.
cares about this game?
We don't have to stomp on these
We
two
just
teams.
spent a minute 30 too much on two teams that stink. You want to say how they're letting this nerd still coach this Dolphins team is a different question. Mike McDaniel, he's the most depressing, defeated guy in the world. You got to get him out. The Dolphins, this is a team. If we're going to talk getting your heart ripped out, this is a team that a couple of years ago really thought they were on the cusp.
Yep.
They're scoring 1 million points. Their offense looked unstoppable. The concussions, obviously, a major factor. But this is a franchise that they're just dead. They should have never gotten rid of Flores, ever.
Frank was right.
Frank was right.
Shout out Meow Mix.
Well, Frank actually said that they won the game in the first quarter yesterday and ended up losing. The rare time Frank was confident in his team, they lost the game.
More Wake Up Barstool coming up next. Let's head back to the college football scene. We have
We
yet.
ever going to mention the word baseball?
No.
Yes, but
I'd
we got
love
to talk
some
Texas.
ball.
It's football. It's football Monday. We'll talk baseball as well. Texas, though. Dreams shattered. Longhorns done. More Wake Up next. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. Hope you're having a great Monday. We're having a lot of fun chopping up the football weekend that was. We've mentioned, Brandon talked about this in his top 10. It is wild how different it all feels now as it did preseason. I think this is a good thing, right? A lot of the teams we thought were going to be good are now getting thrown out the club. Newcomers are rising. It's very fun. But one of the teams that seemingly will be outside looking in are the Texas Longhorns as they go into the swamp and they get absolutely manhandled by a Florida Gators team that has not been great this season. And I think all Texas conversations start with Arch Manning. Dave, are you where were you with Arch coming into this game, and did it change?
Well, obviously he had so much hype. The entire Texas team did. To me, this is, I picked Florida. You can go back and look at the tape. I thought they'd win this game. It didn't surprise me. They've been close against some good teams, so they're probably better than their record showed. They're still playing hard. But to me, it's a larger conversation about college football in general. And Brandon does it. I do it. A lot of people do it. Everybody stinks, right? It's like, oh, this team stinks. They're not as good. The truth of the matter is, it's just a lot of parity. And in this playoff system, we're going to see teams. You could never say this. I think we're trained in the superpower era, the pre-NIL era. You could never envision certain teams losing, or like last year, Arizona State very easily could have beaten Texas, been the national championship. Who knows, win the whole thing if they get lucky. There's just a lot of parity. Like, these teams could play again tomorrow. Texas could win. A lot of these games could go back and forth. It's much more equal now, and we're so used to these unbeatable teams. Maybe in Ohio State, who knows? Maybe in Miami, who knows? Ohio State hasn't played anybody, but it's just a parity league. So we just say this team stinks, they're no good. I just think it's very competitive. It's probably good for the fan. It gives you more hope.
Yeah, Dave's right. Like, these teams have squished together and they're a lot more even. The top hasn't separated like it used to separate, and that's just what it is. But I want to talk about Texas real quick, because you said it starts with Arch, and that's fine. Arch has,
I think once the conversations do, you can paint the team for an analysis however you want.
Arch hasn't been as good as we would assume the name Arch Manning was going to be. But I look at Texas. The defense, where was it on Saturday? They made DJ Lagway look like a Heisman winner. They made the Florida running game look very, very good. Dallas Wilson, a good freshman for Florida, dominated Texas. Their offensive line stinks. They can't run the ball. They don't have playmakers at receiver. Like, Arch is not as good as we thought he would be, but neither is anybody else on this Texas team.
Yeah, and
once Florida jumped out in that game, you knew it was big problem, because they've had their spirit broken in their past games. You let them get a little lead, it was a problem. I've talked over and over in the break. I actually maybe was most impressed this weekend with Vanderbilt. Like, I know they lost the game. They easily could have won that game. Diego Pavia made some big mistakes he hasn't made, fumbling inside the 5, throwing an interception in the red zone. But for the amount of crap that Vanderbilt talked going into this game, we're going to beat them, they could have beat them. And that in itself is kind of stunning, that they went in talking trash. They lose the game. This is a real 5-1 team. Just because it says Vanderbilt, people kind of, I think, shoo. I think this team can make a run at the playoffs still. I was very impressed with them despite the loss.
Yeah, look, there's probably still, and I agree with you, right? It's insane how competent Vandy has actually become, that they could legitimately battle Alabama. It wasn't fluky. There's probably like 8 or 9 teams in the SEC right now that could fall in that category. Like, hell, dude, I come away very impressed with Texas A&M. I think that defense is elite. I think the rushing attack is great. I agree with Brandon that the quarterback's a bit limited, but I think it's going to be hard to force them into a standpoint where they have to throw the ball a ton. But even when they do, Concepcion
That's my
and
Big
Craver.
Ten take, though. All these teams, I'm going to go back Big Ten. Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, all these teams in the middle of the Big Ten would be, you could say, are just as good as the best team in the SEC. You have 2 teams, I think, that are the best, Ohio State and Oregon. But this middle of the Big Ten, Penn State, put them in, they could go beat any of these teams. USC. These are all very similar teams.
Michigan went to Oklahoma and was non-competitive. Michigan went to Oklahoma and couldn't stay on the field with Oklahoma. They were lucky they didn't get beat by 45 points.
With an 18-year-old quarterback.
They were lucky they didn't get beat by 45 points. Oklahoma destroyed Michigan. This world that you live in where it's all Big Ten. All
played again, I think Michigan beats Oklahoma.
Illinois ain't going down to the SEC and winning a football game. It's just not happening.
That is it.
You're it.
No, that is the bias that is wrong, that has screwed up everything. That is just wrong.
You said Michigan would
Illinois
win the SEC.
SEC team and beat them. They may not. They could. So could Indiana. So could Michigan. So could Penn State.
Michigan
so could a whole ton. USC could do it. Stop acting like going into these SEC schools. These teams stink. Vanderbilt just went.
You just said
Vanderbilt just went to Alabama. Could have beat them. Vanderbilt's the middle of the road. You're making my point.
You just said we're all idiots. We say all these teams stink, and then you came up and said these teams stink. That's what you just did.
Middle, they're all similar. You can't say Illinois can't go beat anybody in the SEC. Yes, they can.
Anybody can beat anybody then, Dave. It's nothing to do with the Big Ten and the SEC.
Illinois beat the SEC.
Anybody can beat anybody, Dave. It's parity. Why are you changing it to the Big Ten and the SEC?
No. the Big Ten has two teams that I don't think anybody can beat Ohio State or Oregon right now.
We're going to see about that. But like Texas, who doesn't seem to be that good, was right there with Ohio State. They were
lost.
right there with them.
They lost.
Meek. They were right there.
With
But
them.
they lost.
Meek, that's not the point.
If they can't
but
beat
they
them, if
kinda
they
got
lost.
Can you get this moron out of here?
That goes back to the
Get him
point.
back on the show
That
with
goes
Rico.
back to the point T-Bob made of it's matchups. It's week by week, and people want to cling on to something. I came away from that game. I sat on roughness. I was looked at like a fool, like I have feet for hands. That I thought Ohio State should have come out of that game with a 20-plus point win. I was looked like I looked at like I was on Mars. And you look at Texas 2 days ago, and you're talking about all these positions. You know what I think? I think it's a team that has zero faith, zero confidence in their quarterback, and is mentally quit. That's what I think. I think Texas is a 7-win team, and that needs to be discussed. That's a team that actually stinks.
But let's all focus, okay? Because we were talking about Vanderbilt, and we were talking about these teams with big wins, and he changed it to Big Ten SEC, and we all got crazy. Our pets' heads are falling off. Everybody get back to respecting Vanderbilt and respecting these teams.
I do respect them. I'm just saying the SEC, like, there's a perception amongst the world that the SEC is still the best conference and deeper than every other conference. That's just not true. That's all.
I don't know if it's true. The thing that is true is the Georgia of 2022 and the Alabama of 2020 and the LSU of 2019 that are elite and better than everybody else does not exist in the SEC this year.
Yeah.
Whoever comes out of the SEC is not going to be as good as those teams.
They will be battle-tested, though.
We believe the top of the Big Ten is better than that. That might prove to be untrue.
Why don't those SEC teams
But
exist anymore?
one thing that could play in the SEC's favor for come playoff time is that the winner will be battle tested. Like Oregon, Ohio State, these teams may end up rolling through and not being in that many close games, whereas you survive the SEC, you might
Well,
be in
that's
the
my
dog
point,
week
though.
in,
That's
week
not
out.
true. That is exactly what's wrong with every pundit. What do you mean you survived the SEC?
What do you, no, because
There's 10 to 12 teams that are right there even.
Yes, because of the parity. Because of the
Yeah,
parity.
but
I'm not
there's
saying from
ton
a
of those
challenge.
teams in the Big Ten.
I'm not. No.
And with all apologies, we may be forgetting about Walker's number 5 team with who knows? Texas Tech could be just as good as all of them with their paid roster. Who knows?
No, Tech's legit. Their front seven's awesome. They invested in it. It's paying dividends, and it's something nobody else in the Big 12 has. All right, we're break behind, so we got to get in another break. Coming up next, time to talk a little baseball. MLB playoffs rolling right along. Grab a coffee. Let's have a Monday, guys. This is Wake Up Barstool.
That was good ball talk.
That was good. God, I didn't want to cut it off. I'm freaking fired up right now, dude.
I mean.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool here on FS1. Baseball playoffs rolling right along over the weekend, and well, it not the best results all the time for some of the people that the big market fans here, the Yankees fans, the Cubs fans. Brandon, what were your major
Can I
takeaways
say
from
something
baseball
about the
weekend?
Yankees fans
Yeah.
in this company? They do the same tweet every single year where they're like, I don't know why, but I'm just super confident right now in this team. We're going to win the World Series. If we win today, we're going to kill them. And then they go out and the Blue Jays just absolutely crap down their throat for 2 games. Just dominant performance. The Yankees, I don't even know why they showed up. They did the champagne that he was talking about, that Dave was talking about. They did the champagne for the wild card celebration, and I guess they're still drunk from it. They are getting their asses kicked by Toronto.
Long series, best of 7.
No.
The wild card.
Best of 5 in the
Best
DS.
of 5.
They
It's 5 in.
Yeah,
in
5
the-
games,
Yeah.
one more, and
They
season's
got
over.
one more.
Oh wow, that I thought it was 7. That changes things clearly. And this is, I went on this rant. It was my rant. I wanted to end the college football show. The celebration, and all the teams do it. By the way, it's not just the Yankees. I think the Yankees pride themselves on 27 rings and this and that. But the amount of champagne celebrations
too
that
many.
go on in baseball, when you clinch a playoff spot, fine, I can live with that. But then you shouldn't celebrate at a minimum till you clinch to go to the World Series.
Yeah.
I think it should really be when you clinch a playoff spot, and when you win the World Series, and that's it. If you want to mix in the World Series, but to clinch wild card, then you win a 3-game series, you do a celebration, then you do it again. It's so stupid, and I've been saying it. People gotcha culture. People are trying to say, hey, you didn't complain when the Red Sox did it. I did. I've been complaining about it since 2015. I saw a great tweet. We need more gotcha back culture than gotcha culture. But the champagne celebrations in baseball, too much. As a Yankee fan, it's embarrassing. You guys are supposed to be, I hate saying it, what, the premier pro franchise in the world?
Yeah.
And you guys go nuts for a wild card, and now you're getting crushed by the Blue Jays? It's disgusting. And by the way, a part of me wants to see the Yankees. I want them out because I can't risk it. But with the Yankees gone, it gets very boring around here very quick. You have the Cubs, I guess, but who wants to watch the Toronto Blue Jays in postseason baseball? Who wants to watch the Seattle Mariners in postseason baseball? Who wants to watch the Milwaukee Brewers in postseason baseball? The answer is nobody, nobody, and nobody. You got the Dodgers. They're a big market, but they're almost in it so much it's getting a little boring. I guess the Dodgers make an interesting show.
Philly's still in there. Philly's still in there potentially as well.
Phillies are very interesting. So you got, but if you lose those teams, you're in trouble because baseball's a little bit like the NHL. If you don't have the big market teams, people just tune out.
Yeah, it feels like the Yankees are probably done. Cubs, Mariners, maybe, because the Mariners are such a nice storyline. But how about that Cubs game, dude?
Mariners.
But how about that Cubs game? Opens up with a solo shot. Cubs fans are like, oh my God, here we go. And then Milwaukee just buries them in inning number 1. That thing was over as soon as it began.
D-Bob,
John Cusack back at the Cubs game. That guy stinks.
Yeah, he's got to stop. I don't know what that is, dude.
there used to be a take prevalent among like baseball writers would put out the past few years that having the bye would make offenses go cold going into that game 1. The Milwaukee Brewers put up 9 runs in the first 2 innings on Saturday. That's dead. The Blue Jays put up 20 runs the last 2 days. That theory's dead.
Yeah.
It was just some loser narrative baseball writers and loser Braves fans are trying to put out there the past few years. It made no sense.
Are we doing best of 5? Because, and I know they kept it, they don't want to go too late into, because if you play, I don't get this. I don't get it with the wild card when you don't go back and forth. Baseball is a 162 game season. You should play best of 7 in the series.
I think
Why are we doing best of 5?
Because it's been a best of 5 since '95 and they haven't adjusted yet. I think they should adjust it in the next CBA, which expires after next season.
You have to. Why the 162? I'm an old schooler. The wild card, I like when it's just the divisions because it means more. But you play this long season, you extend these series. The only thing I can think is weather.
And an annoying wrinkle is the National League this year has the off day after game 1, so they didn't play yesterday.
Yeah.
And then they have the off day after tomorrow. And because of that, the Dodgers were allowed to use Tyler Glass now to basically pitch 2 innings on Monday and then pitch game 4. They get a built-in advantage.
Which is not an accurate representation of how your team and how your pitching staff actually operates when you're given these fictional days off. Stupid.
The Dodgers had one of the worst bullpens in baseball down the stretch, and all of a sudden they could use their starters and use it perfectly in a 5-game series. It's an advantage that shouldn't exist.
I agree with that, 100%.
Yeah, so coming up today, what do you got? You got Cubs Brewers 8 o'clock Central tonight. You got Dodgers Phillies at 5.
You have Nicky Smoke's boy starting for the Phillies.
Luzardo.
I don't know if you'd want someone friends with Nicky Smoke starting.
I don't know the backstory here.
He is apparently boys with Jesus Luzardo, right?
Yeah.
You went to high school with them apparently.
Okay.
Oh, so he might not know him at all.
No,
follows him on Instagram.
I actually think they do know each other.
He follows on Instagram. That means a lot.
Yeah.
I tell you, you had to be a pro. These days, and you got the TVs going, you got all the Major League Baseball going. That 3:30 slate of college football the other day, that was unbelievable, the games you had going on there.
Shout out to
you got Texas and Penn State dying at the exact same time.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. All right, guys.
While the UVA game was going on.
Now it's time for this segment to die. We got one more left on the docket.
Good wordplay.
More Wake Up Barstool. We're gonna see what we missed. Meek, you have our report card ready?
I have something.
Okay, perfect. Coming up here on FS1. Welcome back, Wake Up Barstool. Final segment of the day, guys. Hope you're having a great morning. Right now, it's time to go to our nerds behind the desk, and I mean that lovingly, guys. I'm a nerd as well. Meek Phil, Leah Blutman, what did we miss here on this Monday?
We missed ripping into Aaron Judge more for being a loser with empty calories. He's hitting .571 in the 2 games, but it's all meaningless singles, and he has the second worst clutch rating of any hitter in the divisional series so far. Aaron Judge has had 1 meaningful at-bat in the entire 2 games, and he struck out looking like Javier Baez.
Oof.
Liam, what do you have?
That was pretty good. I don't know if I could show mine on air or not. I have it ready if I can. I would just like to say, what a weekend to be a Penn State fan. I'm getting a thumbs down. We could not show it. So I could just tell you what happened. What a weekend to be a Penn State fan. Gavin McKenna goes into the desert against Arizona State, performs at such a high level. They paid this kid $700,000 to come from Medicine Hat, Alberta to play puck, college puck, an unprecedented act happening in college hockey. Gavin McKenna goes out there, lights the lamp, game-winning goal with under 2 minutes to go at ASU. Big win. Penn State starts the season 2-0, had a comeback win in both games. Gavin McKenna.
Let me add on that, by the way, Blutman. We have a big event. The Chicklets guys are going to be in Happy Valley for their outdoor hockey game. They're going to be on the broadcast.
Wow.
I believe they're doing a live podcast with that kid. So
That's
a lot of
unbelievable.
A lot of collabs. Can I do a quick shout? I saw Weapons this weekend.
Oh, so good.
Been waiting to see it. I'm not generally a horror movie guy. I thought it was good. I need a little more clarity to my movies. Like, is there going to be a sequel? What was she doing? Is she a witch? Are the kids going to be okay? But I thought it was an entertaining movie.
I got to say, Dave, unfortunately, I don't know if I think the kids are going to be okay. But it was a great movie. It was a great movie. Hey, how much have you listened to Life of a Showgirl? I've never listened to it before. I've gotten 20 listens in, I think, so far.
I've probably done 6 to 8 listens. I've told this story. I was at Keeneland for the horse races, and people who know me know I love horse racing. I started Go-Go Gray Stables about 2.5 years ago. I finally had my first starter, Miss Watermelons. I can't be more excited. A guy in a green coat at Keeneland, a worker. I'm in the paddock mere seconds before this race is going to go off. I'm nervous. Guy comes up, shakes my hand. Good luck. He slips something into my hand. I thought it was a dried up grape. It was a Buckeye. He goes, "Go Bucks." Talk about cursing my horse. I took the Buckeye, stomped on it. Too late. Bad juju all over my horse. If that was Ryan Day, he would be crying forever. I said, you know what? You're a jerk, but that's football rivalries.
That's incredible. Meek, did we miss anything else?
The WNBA Finals, 2-0 Aces.
Shocking to me. I've lost quite a bit of money on that. I had Phoenix to win game 1, win the series. Alyssa Thomas missed 2 free throws with 10 seconds to go. That cost them the game. They got blown out yesterday. I'm very surprised by this series. I consider myself an expert. I did tweet out, I've never been more confident about any bet in my life than a Phoenix Mercury beating this team. I've been dead wrong so far. A lot of game left. This is a best of 7, so we'll see what happens. But I'm stunned by what's going on in the WNBA.
I got one more, if not 100,000 more. We didn't talk enough about the game-winning kick by Mr. Borregales for the Patriots.
Yes,
that was maybe
right down
the
the
most
middle.
ice in the veins, perfect kick you'll ever see. And if you look at the apex of that football, no T-Bob, that is one of the most absurd kicks I've ever seen from a guy that we have all in this office at this company and this world clowned all season of what a scrub, what a wannabe he is, and he goes out there and kicked what was good from 75.
Look,
the kickers
you know,
are using
shades.
prep balls that are juicing them like juice baseballs, and the kicking is an art lost now. These kickers are juiced, they're roided. It's a steroid era. Yes, it
Steroid
is.
era for kickers?
It's genuinely the
Shades of Adam
steroid era for kickers. They're using
Gutskowski.
prep balls.
I've seen some great kicking in my day. I've been blessed. Some of the great, Adam Vinatieri could argue you the greatest clutch kicker who ever lived. Again, it's all rebirthing. It's all the Terminator, all that, whatever that soupy stuff that comes together is rebuilding into one big form. And it may be in my presence. It may be when the Terminator thing comes back, it could be me. Like that could be the Terminator ice sculpture. It's just me like, ah.
Oh, Dave, it's the line from Rise of Skywalker. somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh my God!
I forgot
Palpatine is back. Palpatine is back. Great, awesome. We thought we were done with him, and here he is, all fat and happy with his Patriots hat on.
Taryn Dickens, Western Carolina quarterback, completed his first 46 passes of the game.
Oh my God!
Wait, what?
Yeah, and they only
Yes.
scored like 20 points.
They only scored like 23 points. He was 53 of 56.
Oh my God. Oh.
That's actually the most mystifying part of that stat, actually.
He only threw for 378 yards.
All right, guys, we gotta
Michigan, USC,
go.
let's go, Michigan Coliseum. We'll end the show with that. It's a big win. Michigan wins that.
Hey, Wake Up Barstool coming tomorrow.
UCLA, Michigan State, big game.
Shut up, everybody!
Oh, Mississippi State's eliminated. Can't root for our teams anymore.
Fun show, guys.